If you are in network marketing and you want to know what's the most powerful prospecting strategy for your business, then this video is for you. In fact, I'm here with my good friend and mentor, Ferny Ceballos. It's actually the third time Ferny's here on this channel. We did 3 interviews already. If you missed them, I'm going to put them somewhere around this video in the description so you can check them out. But this is going to be another amazing interview, guys. So again, if you're interested in exploding your prospecting efforts for your network marketing business, stick until the end because it's going to blow your mind. Okay. So Ferny, thank you so much for being here again. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, really. So maybe some of you guys don't know Ferny. It's actually the first time that you see him online somewhere on YouTube, Facebook. So Ferny, if you just want to do a quick intro on who you are, what you do now, and then we go straight into the questions.
Yeah, I'll try to be as brief as possible. I entered network marketing as early as 2005, I believe. That's where I first got into the space. And at the time, I was an aerospace engineer. I had been educated at MIT and got into a computer science and electrical engineering degree. And, that sounds cool. Like I did everything right in terms of getting good grades in school so that I can go to such a great school and work in the aerospace industry, working on top secret space stuff for the government. And as cool as all that sounds, it actually wasn't cool. I didn't enjoy it at all. I found it quite boring, a lot of bureaucracy, and most importantly, I just didn't have control over my time and I didn't have freedom. So that, excuse me, that's what prompted me to just look for anything else. Initially, I tried to go to grad school or try to get my PhD thinking that was going to somehow get me out of the problem. It was, if anything, it would put me in a bigger problem of doing something and having bigger responsibility with something that I really just didn't enjoy doing. And I was looking for a way out. And while in grad school at USC, a friend of mine who was a homework partner actually invited me to a meeting, and he made it sound like it was some sort of meeting for like a Silicon Valley startup. And so when I showed up, it wasn't that. And but everybody in the room were engineers, and there was this guy drawing circles on this board, and the circles in the shape of a pyramid. And I literally asked the question, is this one of those pyramid things like is very commonly asked in network marketing? And I hated everything that was presented to me about network marketing. I hated like the idea of having to sell. I hated the idea of having to do meetings like they were doing. I hated that I was conned into the meeting, and I actually left and I ghosted essentially my future upline or sponsor for about 2 weeks. But then as I got to think about it, I was like, well, what else am I going to do? Like, I really hate my job. I really want out. I really want a way to get out of the situation I'm in with my job and have time freedom. And it's funny, time freedom was more important than financial freedom for me.
Yeah.
But financial freedom was also important. And I didn't see anything else that can give it to me. And they were talking about it. And so as much as I did not want to get into network marketing, it was the only vehicle that anyone had ever offered to me that was an alternative to what I was doing. So 2 weeks later, I called my upline. I got signed up. And within 9 months, I actually had some success doing things the old school way, doing offline traditional prospecting. And I recruited about 17 people in a very traditional company. And if you knew what the company was, then you know that recruiting 17 people is like a Herculean achievement, because it was just its reputation preceded it, so to speak. And I mainly leverage my credibility as a engineer, as a scientist, having gone into school where I went to. Like, I had a lot of people in my life that deeply respected me and trusted me, and so I leveraged that credibility to recruit those 17 people. But even with that credibility, most people said no, they weren't interested. And then when I had to go to the cold market, because do cold market offline prospecting, I just completely failed at it. And it wasn't like I didn't know how to like sell. Like I had some sales experience from college, because I did Rush. If anyone knows what Rush is in college, it's kind of like when you're recruiting people into the fraternity, and that was way easier than trying to cold prospect people in at bars, at restaurants, your waiter. I even once went with my friend to the mall to specifically try to prospect people at the mall, like literally sitting in a bench looking at, okay, who are we going to go after? And it was that type of, I was obviously motivated, but thinking back then, it was just crazy what I was doing, willing to do. It was just absolutely nuts. And, thinking back now, I was like, can't believe I did that stuff. And so obviously that stuff doesn't work. It wasn't working for me. I would have had to be a super amazing salesperson to make those strategies work. And so I started searching for a different way. I started searching online. In fact, one night I was actually searching for information, negative information about my company, so that I can logically justify to myself the reason I should quit. That's actually what I was searching for online. I was like, actually wanted to quit, but I'm one of those people that once I start something, like I don't give up. Like I see it through. And so, but I was like, if I can, like, it was almost like my subconscious is going, if I can find something like truly evil about my company, then that'll give me the justification to quit. Somehow save face with everybody that I had told about my business in my friends and family. And that's when I found a website called Magnetic Sponsoring. And Magnetic Sponsoring was founded by one of my mentors, Mike Dillard, and eventually he brought in his mentor, Tim Irway, and those two people changed my life. Mike and Tim introduced me to the concept of attraction marketing and showed me how to build my business online using online strategies. And within 2 years, I was able to quit my job, became a six-figure earner in a different company that I joined. I joined that in like 2008. I became a six-figure earner in 2009 of that company. And like you say, the rest is history. I've been building network marketing businesses and coaching students all over the world. My businesses have generated in excess of $40 million online since that time. And then also I've coached probably at this point hundreds of students that I've helped personally achieve six figures or higher in their network marketing business. And collectively with my mentors, Mike and Tim, together, we've actually helped over 1,000 network marketers achieve six-figure incomes or higher in network marketing. And the cool thing is I say collectively because in 2014, I was actually invited to become a partner and owner in the exact same company that I got my start in. And to honor its legacy, that company was rebranded now as attractionmarketing.com. To honor that legacy, Mike, my mentor, is no longer in the profession, but Tim Irway continues to be the CEO of Attraction Marketing, and I'm his business partner. And so that's just a little background. And we continue to mentor, the brand new network marketer, six-figure earners, seven-figure earners in network marketing. We kind of have students from all stripes who are looking to build their business online, find a strategy that's going to work for them online, even if they built the kind of like the traditional old school offline prospecting type of way. We're finding more and more people are coming to us to just learn a different and better way of either training themselves to create success or helping their teams approach it differently using online strategies, online prospecting strategies that we can help them with.
Awesome. Always love hearing your story, Ferny. I heard it many times, but you always had something that I didn't know, and really love it. By the way, guys, obviously stay until the end of the video because we're going to reveal what's the most powerful prospecting strategy you can use right now in your business. But also, I'm going to put the link in the description. It's a brand new training, so make sure after you watch this video to go ahead and register for free, and you can watch this brand new training from Ferny. I love what you said. I kind of have a similar journey and history in network marketing. Obviously, everyone is starting out offline. That's what most uplines tell you to do. Go and meet people, chase people. I also went to the mall, to the gym to try and approach people, and obviously I failed. And that's when I decided to go online. So we both went from kind of like struggling offline networkers to successful online networkers and attraction marketers. So what I want to ask you, because we have a similar journey, the main differences and similarities between offline prospecting and then online prospecting?
Yeah. So offline prospecting, the bottom line is to get good at it, you actually need to be trained in sales. No one ever talks about traditional network marketing strategies or offline prospecting being sales, but that's actually what it is. It's a sales strategy, sales process. There's different sales steps. There's psychology. There's presenting. There's follow up. There's objection handling. Those are things that are talked about in sales. So those are sales skills. And so the problem with offline prospecting is that it's leaders first and foremost. They don't call it sales. They call it, oh, it's not it's not selling, it's sharing. And they actually don't train people effectively on how to do sales, so they kind of like set them up for failure. And so people who do offline prospecting, traditional strategies, are actually set up to fail, because how can you train somebody effectively if you won't even acknowledge what it is you're training them at? It's like kind of like going to get trained at a martial arts school and go get trained to fight, but we're not going to tell them it's fighting, so we're just going to train you, and maybe eventually you'll figure out that you have to get really good at fighting, but you never call it fighting. It just it doesn't make any sense.
Crazy.
So and the other issue with offline prospecting strategies and is that they're not called sales. And here's the thing, I would actually be okay with it. I would actually be fine. It is totally a legitimate strategy to be teaching offline prospecting or sales strategies to network marketers, as long as you acknowledge what it is you're teaching them, and two, you actually train them effectively on how to do it. There's a good friend of mine, Tim Sales, in network marketing, multiple seven-figure earner, legend in the industry. In the 90s, his main strategy for building a seven-figure team was cold calling. It was literally buying leads, having his downline and his team members buy leads. He taught them how to buy leads. He taught them how to evaluate whether the leads they were buying were any good or not, so that they didn't waste any money. And then he actually taught them and trained them in a very systematic way how to do cold calling. If you've ever gone through any of his first class MLM tools training, that's essentially what he's teaching. He's teaching people how to effectively, in a very systematic way, become an amazing cold caller. And then he duplicated that across his team. So what most people call duplicatable, well, that certainly didn't fall under the category of duplicatable, but it duplicated nonetheless, because he was an effective trainer at teaching a sales strategy to his team. In that case, it was a cold calling sales strategy. So that's the problem with offline prospecting, and the biggest my biggest issue. Now, but it can work. Clearly, I just gave an example of a strategy that can work, but network marketers are not properly trained, and the reason they're not trained in how to do sales, to do offline prospecting effectively, is because probably leaders believe that if you actually told your new recruit that they had to learn sales, they wouldn't do it. They'd run away. And maybe that's true, but you're now building the business in a dishonest way. Now, when it comes to online prospecting, that kind of falls into two categories. That calls into number one is it's just more of the same being done online. So traditional methods for offline prospecting being applied online so still having people attempt a sales strategy without being told it's sales, without being given the effective skill set to be able to do that well. And it turns out to be very spammy, and it turns into a lot of rejection, just like offline traditional prospecting. And so that's where, when it comes to online prospecting, that's camp number one. It's the same old crap being taught to people in an ineffective way and not working. The other side of online prospecting, I wouldn't even call prospecting at all. It's called attraction marketing. And that's my favorite, approach, and probably the one that's going to be the most enjoyable for most network marketers. And what attraction marketing is, it's a direct response marketing strategy applied specifically for network marketing. So if you don't know direct response marketing, it's basically a way of doing marketing and advertising that is for people or for businesses that are on a low budget, especially when they're competing with bigger brands. But it could also be applied in a way where you can actually specifically target or have your message reach people that actually have problems that what you offer solves. So attraction marketing is basically content marketing. A lot of what you see on social media, different types of content marketing. Attraction marketing also includes social engagement, engaging with social media, or engaging with people on social media, and then also advertising. And all of those strategies, content marketing, social engagement, and advertising, you're going to do them in a way that actually specifically targets a group or a population of people that have a problem that your product or opportunity can solve. And so that's how attraction marketing is different. The whole old adage, everyone is not your prospect, or everyone is your prospect. Well, our adage for attraction marketing is everyone is not your prospect. We specifically target a group of people. Now, just because we say we're targeting a group of people doesn't mean that group of people is going to be small. We're still talking about millions of people potentially in your target market. So that's the alternative to selling, because so instead of trying to convince people or trying to sell them or objection handle all that stuff, we take a very targeted approach for creating content, for engaging on social media, and if you have the budget or the skills to do it, eventually learning how to do advertising that passively attracts people to you that are in your target market, that are specifically looking for what you have to offer. So if you do that, what you're actually doing with marketing is you're attracting people to you so that you have an opportunity to demonstrate to them that you can help them. And the best way I can think of convincing somebody to help them without trying to sell them is by actually helping them. So that's when people say lead with value, that means show people you can help them by actually helping them. Share information that's insightful, that helps them understand their problem or issues at a deeper level, that educates them on things they can do right now to make their problem less of a problem or have it go away. That way you build influence with them, you build credibility. And so that when you actually have a conversation about your product, or you invite them to take a look at your product or opportunity, that influence is the reason they trust you. That influence you built with them is the reason they're open. That's the reason, offline traditional prospecting doesn't work, is because you're approaching somebody out in the mall or your waiter or whatever, and you invite them to take a look at something. You're hoping to blow them away with an amazing presentation, sales presentation, so that they fall in love with your company. But the reason most people don't join is because there's no relationship, there's no influence. They just barely met you. So you have to be amazingly good at sales in order to convert that person. Our approach is different. Let's attract a lot of people, grow an audience, and demonstrate to them through value and content that we can actually help them by actually helping them. And so that when we actually invite them, they're familiar with who we are, they've seen what we can do, and they're more open to our message.
Love this. Big stuff. Let us know, guys, in the comments what obviously some of your takeaways already from this interview, from what Ferny shared, and also if you prefer offline prospecting or online prospecting. For me, there is absolutely no how do you say? I don't even have to think about it. When I discovered the online way to do this business, and more specifically what Ferny said, attraction marketing, it completely changed my business. The concept to becoming the hunted instead of the hunter, that really was something very appealing to me. I wanted to be the one where people actually were coming to me. Obviously, I had to attract them in a certain way with the process, but then they were the ones coming to me. So I was in charge of the conversation. And that completely changes everything. You start having posture, even if you don't have results, even if you're not making so much money already, but thanks to the fact that people are coming to you asking you for information, you have the control of the conversation, and that really changes everything. Mm-hmm. And also, you're not stressed anymore. It doesn't sound like you are needy, that you need them to join your business because you need to make money. It's completely changes the game. The only thing I remember, obviously, when I started going online before discovering Ferny and attraction marketing, I was doing so many mistakes online. I remember I went to Facebook, it was 2016, and I said, oh my God, it's going to be so easy. I'm just going to copy paste the same message that I think is going to work, and some of them will join. It's a numbers game, you know. I send 1,000 messages and eventually some will join. Well, after probably 30, 40 messages, I actually got my Facebook account suspended for 7 days. And they said, if you send more messages, we're actually going to suspend for another 14 days and then potentially forever. So I said, this is not going to work. And I'm sure there are so many people that try to build their network marketing business online. They approach the online world and they make so many mistakes. So I want to ask Ferny if he can share some of the biggest mistakes that you see people make when they try to do online prospecting. So some of you guys can actually avoid them in advance and then do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest mistakes people make, it sound, when I say it, it's going to sound obvious, but when you're in it, it's not so obvious. And some of what I'm going to say is actually going to confuse people that aren't familiar with attraction marketing. So the mistake number one, the biggest mistake people make, or at least the first mistake they make, is that they're prospecting with the selfish intent of building their business. That's the one that's confusing. It's like, what do you mean? Wait, of course I'm prospecting to build my business. That's the reason I'm doing it. So how is that selfish? Well, think about it. Like, where is your thinking when you're doing prospecting? At what point do you think about the other person's needs? So with attraction marketing, that's primarily what we have to think. When we're talking about connecting and reaching our target market, we have to understand what their needs are so that when we put a message out there, the message resonates with them because it's what they're looking for. It addresses their problem or addresses the result that they want to achieve. And so that's the problem. Number one is that you're approaching building your business with what's in it for you instead of what's in it for other people. Mm-hmm. And that's selfish, you know, and that's and think about it. That's the reason we have so much trouble prospecting people and approaching even our own friends and family. It's like, oh, what do I say to them? Oh, well, what if they don't like what I said? Or should I send this text message? Notice how everything you're thinking about is about you. It's about what's in it for you. It's about what you should say in order to get them to do what you want them to do. But if you actually sat down and thought, it's like, who, you know, I have a product that helps people lose weight. Who has actually talked to me about wanting to lose weight or told me that they were on a diet and working to lose weight? So then now when you go talk to them, you go, hey, remember the other time when you were telling me about, like, you know, wanting to lose weight, or, you know, how is that going? It's like, oh, not too well. Well, I just found this incredible product. I've been doing it for the past 7 days and I've lost about 7 pounds. Just was curious if you wanted to, you know, do it with me. You know, so that's a different approach. Now you're thinking about what's in it for them. And notice how most of the conversation is about helping them based on something they've said, based on something you know about them. And so that's what attraction marketing is. You attract people by actually having something in it for them. Notice how anything else, other time in your life when you recommend something, you recommend it confidently and you share it with somebody because you think it could actually help them. If you recommend a movie, it's like, dude, you gotta see this movie. You're gonna love it. You know, you're gonna love it. It has this, and this. You know, so if that person loves, like, let's say action movies, well, you're gonna rent action movies to them. If that person loves a romance comedy, you're gonna recommend romance comedies. You know what they like. That's a very targeted approach, and the reason you share it is because you know they're very likely going to be appreciative and want you to share that. That's not the case with how most people approach building their business. It's like they're afraid, and the reason they're afraid is because they know that person's probably going to get pissed at them because you're focused on what's in it for you. First, you need to focus on what's in it for the other person. Even if you do traditional methods, what I just said about how to approach people based on what you know about them, based on the needs that you know they have in their life is a radically different approach that makes it a lot easier to talk to them. But with attraction marketing, we can do that in a more automated or passive way, or at the very minimum, more leverage way, because social engagement does require time engaging with communities online that are in your target market. That can take time, but then today you have some incredible opportunities with content marketing to attract people to you through content. But it all starts with what's in it for the other person, not what's in it for yourself. And that's the mistake number one. Mistake number two is that kind of ties into mistake number one, is that most people do online prospecting without having a target market in mind. So that's a big problem. I've already talked about the value of a target market, but having a target market allows you to specifically target people, communicate with people, reach people through various strategies that already have a problem that your product solves. And I say product for a reason. I'll get to that in just a moment. But imagine if you were in a room full of people that had a problem and they were actively looking for a solution to a problem that what you have in your company, like one hero product, actually helps them solve. Like how many sales would you come out of that room with? You don't even have to sell them. You just need to talk to them a little bit. They'll inevitably express that they have this problem to you, and that you invite them to take a look at something. They're like, yeah, totally. I've been looking for something like that for ages. It's so great I met you. And that's what it's really like when you're actually, have a target market and use strategies that reach people that actually are actively looking for a solution that what you have helps them solve. The invitation, whether they raise their hand or you invite them, is very natural and easy, because it's very common. It's very human to, when somebody expresses a problem, that they have a problem. It's a very human thing to want to help them, right? It's very natural. It's very natural for them to hear that invitation for help. And it's very natural for you to offer help. That's what we're trying to do when we have a target market. Inevitably, those people in our target market that we're engaging with on social media, that we're creating content for, that's being drawn to us, those people are going to be very open to our message, because our message hits right with the things that they care about. Now, mistake number three is a big one, and this is going to probably ruffle some feathers, but mistake number three is leading with the opportunity. I recommend leading with adding value to a target market that can first benefit from one or two hero products, not leading with the opportunity. And here's the reason. The reason is because the product is a low commitment. So the product, when you have a target market and you're speaking to them and you invite them to take a look at the product that can help them with their problem. Well, let's say the product is a couple $100. Well, the commitment is a couple $100, and then they take the product and they get the result, they get better. When it comes to the opportunity, the commitment is much higher. Even if the opportunity only costs $200 to join, the commitment is much higher, because you're not just asking for the $200 to join. You're asking them to get on auto ship for future expense. You're asking them to spend time away from their family to build their business. You're asking them to do training and invest in themselves to up level their skill sets. You're asking them to become a serious entrepreneur when they've never been that before. And so that's going to take time and dedication. So that's actually the commitment that you're asking for when you are leading with the opportunity. And coupled on top of that, your level of influence is really small. And so with a low commitment product, with a product that's even a couple $100, that's still a low commitment, because all you're asking people to do, even if they've just met you, even if they've only been following you for a short period of time, if they can clearly see that what you have solves their problem, and it's very common for people to buy products, people are accustomed to buying products to solve their problem, then it's an easy transition. But when it comes to starting a business, if you want somebody that's really motivated, that's a much higher level commitment, and your influence and trust with them needs to be at a higher level. So I recommend building a warm market of customers, building a brand new warm market, creating a target market where you're leading with the product to help that target market or those group of people solve a problem, that allows you to build a relationship. And guess what? Once they get results from the product, and well, one, your influence with them grows. Is like, wow, like Ferny really took great care of me. Not only did he provide me an amazing product that helps me with that problem, but he gave me advice. He coached me on how to use it effectively. I'm part of this incredible online community where everybody's doing the same thing, trying to lose weight or trying to do this or trying to do that. And so that builds influence too. So now the company has credibility because of what the product did, and you have credibility and influence because of how you supported that community and that customer. So when you invite them, hey, many of you have asked, what do I do for a living? Well, what I do is actually I help people. I actually get paid to help people do exactly what I've helped you guys. So if you are interested in turning this newfound passion for health and wellness or weight loss or whatever into a business, I invite you to come check this out. Check out this presentation, or check out this webinar, or check out this workshop. And people are going to be open at that point because you have influence, because you have credibility. You've helped them solve a big problem in their life. The company has credibility because they've experienced a product that actually helps them. So they're actually going to be open to taking a look at making extra money by doing the product side of the business because of that relationship that is already there. So with the same company, somebody approaching them, cold prospecting and trying to recruit them into the business, that person will say no. But with the exact same company, you representing that company, but using this attraction marketing process, that person is more likely to say yes. And so it's two different approaches. It doesn't matter what the company is, as long as the product is effective and produces results, then you're going to be able to create influence with that person, make an impact with that person. And when you invite them to take a look at the business, many of them, not everybody, but many of them are going to be open. And notice how the invitation revolves around take what you're doing and turn it into a business. Take your passion for health and wellness and turn it into a business. They're like, that's cool. I'm already doing this. And I know how to help other people do this. So it makes sense for me to take a look and see how I can make extra money. So it's very logical, and there's a relationship that's created. Now, some people will say, like, the resistance to this strategy and approach will be, well, I don't really care about the products. I'm only doing this because I want to grow the business side. I want to make money. Now, think carefully about what that statement is. I don't really care about the products. I only care about the business side. I just want to make money. Think of how insane it would sound if your favorite restaurant, somebody bought your favorite restaurant, and that new owner of that restaurant said, you know what, let's get the cheapest ingredients. Let's, we need to save money. We need to make money. I don't care about the product. I don't care about the meals. I don't care whether people like the meal. I just want to make money. Like, think how insane that would sound. And that person would probably go out of business. So to say that you want to build a business where you don't care about the product is actually contradictory. You should want to care about the product. You should love the product. Otherwise, why do the business? Do another business where you actually do care about the product. It doesn't, at that point, the comp plan doesn't matter if the product sucks or you don't believe in the product. So it doesn't matter how old the company is. If you aren't passionate about the products and feel like your products or just even one or two products can really change people's lives in some way, then you're probably in the wrong company. And and I'm telling you, like, I know leading with the opportunity is something that was very common in the old school ways and the traditional methods, and that's how people are getting recruited or conned into doing network marketing offline still. But that's primarily through personal relationships. The people that do that well are really good salespeople, so they're able to take someone from not knowing them to making that high commitment. But that's not something the average person can do. Okay. So by leading with the product and teaching your team how to specifically target the types of people who would benefit from the product, you're going to create more duplication, more success. When you help people make a few extra $100 from customer sales, well, they're not gonna go anywhere. They don't, because those customers are gonna keep buying, and they don't want to lose that income. And that also makes the business real. It elevates their optimism for, like, okay, what else is possible? If it was this easy to make a couple $100s from this social media strategy that Vincenzo taught me, like, what else can he teach me? So it opens people up. It increases your retention to do it that way. Doing it the attraction marketing way, people actually enjoy the process of building. They make money faster, and and when you do that, well, now you give your new builders an opportunity to build a relationship with people that are going to fall in love with the product. And so that when you invite them to take a look at the opportunity to share that product with others, it's going to make sense to those people as well.
Love it. Love it. Actually, the first time I probably heard this, and I totally agree with you, is to lead with the product instead of leading with the opportunity, which I think is very smart. So I'm curious, guys, if you want to put in the comments if you are guilty, let's say, of any of these mistakes that Ferny talked about, and which one specifically, because obviously we're curious to interact with you guys and know your main kind of mistakes. Everyone made mistakes in this business, so just curious to learn. And then obviously, guys, now we are about to reveal the title, what we promised on the title, the most powerful prospecting strategy. But before, I also want to ask another thing to Ferny that will be very valuable for you guys. So this is obviously one tip that you already gave, which is leading with the product instead of the opportunity. What are some of the other tips that you can share for people to maximize their results for their online prospecting efforts?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna give people 4 tips. The first one is kind of like something that's more of a general advice. You gotta, if you're serious about building a 6-figure business in network marketing, then you gotta understand that 6-figure skill sets are valuable, and you need to be trained to become a 6-figure earner, meaning you need to be trained in 6-figure skill sets. And so a lot of the way network marketing has been approached is that, again, it's not selling, it's sharing. You don't need to become anyone different. You just need to share this with more people. And, so that's very common, where a mentor or a leader downplays the amount of training or the skills or the transformation that you have to go through as an entrepreneur, or just completely denies that you have to change. If this is your first time doing entrepreneurship, and especially your first time doing network marketing, and if you expect this to pay you 6 figures, you would expect that you need to get a 6-figure education, right? And so, what profession in the world doesn't require, if you're going to make that much money, doesn't require you to get trained or go to school in some way, shape, or form? I mean, you can do it the trial and error way. There's people that succeed, being self-taught and figuring out as they go, but those people tend to fail a lot. It takes them a lot of time. They go through a lot of trauma and dramatic ups and downs before they actually figure things out and achieve something. The much smoother route is to get an education. That's the reason we have colleges and universities to become engineers and programmers. If you were just trying to hope that people will train themselves on how to do programming or be engineers, that would be pretty silly, right? We want to be able to control how well we train somebody if we're going to have them work on a rocket that's going to take people to the moon. So this is no different. And the lie that you've been told in network marketing is that you don't have to become anyone special, that you don't have to learn anything special. You absolutely do. If you want to build a 6-figure business or above in network marketing, you have to go through a transformation. So you have to learn some pretty badass skills that means you have to get mentorship, or you have to go to there's no school for attraction marketing. So you need mentors that are willing to spend time with you. Now, most people think that their upline will play that role, and hopefully your upline does, but in most cases, your upline does not have the time to mentor you in the very methodical and strategic way that you need to be mentored in order to learn the skills quickly. And so if your upline, especially if they're successful, the more successful they are, the more busier they are. And that's kind of like the problem, right? The person that is the most successful, you want to learn from, but they're the ones that is most busy. So it's kind of hard for you to learn from them. And so I recommend you take things into your own hands and find a mentor like what we do at Attraction Marketing, like what we've done with Vincenzo and 1,000 other students to build six-figure businesses, is actually find a school. And so Attraction Marketing, what we do is like we're basically a school for attraction marketers looking to build their business online. So that's number one. Find a mentor, find somebody. If it's not somebody that is willing to spend time with you and mentor you in a very strategic way. And by the way, having success and results in network marketing is a completely different skill set from teaching how to teach it to other people. So being an effective coach and teacher is completely different from being good at that skill. So once you become good at something, you do have to learn how to like translate or duplicate those skills into other people. And that's, I was talking about earlier about Tim Sales, one of my good friends in network marketing, who duplicated cold calling in the 90s to build a seven-figure business. Well, that's because he not only was an incredible network marketer, he was an incredible trainer. And that's what you got to find. You got to find somebody with a track record of having trained hundreds, if not thousands of people through their profession. So that's like the free one, number one. Now, in terms of how to maximize your results, once you find mentorship, what you're going to need to look for is, number one, you need to first make sure that your mentor or whoever you're working with, it helps you define a target market, and that you're leading that the problems of that target market or niche can be solved or can be addressed or can be significantly improved with one or two of hero products in your company. So some people make the mistake of saying, well, we sell everything, we can help everybody. It's like, well, if your message is trying to appeal to everybody, you appeal to nobody. Okay. And so you want to focus in on the target market that can most benefit from one or two really amazing products in your company that really do what they say they do really well. So don't lead with the opportunity. If you want duplication and retention using online strategies, then you're going to want to have a mentor help you define the target market that you can connect with one or two hero products. And that number one is actually probably the toughest part. That's the one you're going to spend the most time on figuring out. The good thing is it happens in the beginning. And when you get help and support in figuring that part out, and if you do it really well, everything else becomes super easy. Because now you're just reaching people that are already predisposed, primed to want what you already are offering. So that's when we say like attract the people that are already looking for what you have. That's what we mean. If people already have a problem that our product solves, then they're going to want what we have, right? Now, number two is you're going to want to use social media engagement and content marketing to attract and connect with people in your target market. So social media engagement is you actually going off and going into communities and connecting with people and adding value and forming relationships. What that does is that engagement turns into followers. So that engagement of you, interacting with other people's posts on social media in your target market. Let's say in your target market, you're following some influencers in that target market. Well, interact with that influencer, exchange ideas, comment in their stuff, and do an interview with them and all that stuff. Well, that's going to attract people to you, but also like in groups, people often try to prospect in groups. That's a mistake. What you want to do in groups is you want to respect the communities and actually engage in those communities, add value, demonstrate to people you can help them by actually helping them. When you do that, you don't have to tell them, or you don't have to prospect them. You don't have to stalk them on the internet. Like when you add value to people and you demonstrate to people you can actually help them, well, they on their own will start following you. So that's social engagement. And that is an activity that you can control how much you do to get the result. But then there's another opportunity on social media called content marketing that has existed for as long as I've been doing attraction marketing, but it's actually become different lately. So today we have an opportunity where we can use short form video to attract people to us a lot faster, where we don't have to invest so much our time engaging with people. It's more investing our time creating content. So that's going to attract and connect people in your target market. And so once you've been able to attract them, then you want to build community from those, from those people. So once you attract them, you want to continue to add value to them so that when you actually, when they start following you, well, you continue to do the same thing you were doing when you first met them. You add value, demonstrate you can help them by actually helping them. And what that does is that second thing, basically, it solves the number one problem in network marketing. If you do that, you'll never run out of people to talk to. When you do engage on social media and create content for your target market, you'll never run out of prospects to talk to. And the final thing I would recommend to maximize on online strategies, on attraction marketing, or oftentimes people call it online prospecting. It's not online prospecting, it's attraction marketing. It's very different. What we do is not prospecting, but if you want to call it that, then that's fine. But that's how I recommend you do it. You engage and create content that attracts people in your target market that are already primed to want what you have. And then once you get them as customers, you want to build community with those customers. You want to be able to build like a Facebook group where you continue to provide education. You help them get results with that product at a higher level. You don't just have them buy the product and see you later, I'll talk to you in a month when it's time to reorder. That's not what you want to do. You want to continue to build a relationship, add value to those people. In fact, you want to spend more time with those people than even the people that haven't bought from you. Because when you do that, then you really build a high level of influence. Obviously, they're going to get better results with the product, and that makes the invite into the business a lot easier.
Nice, very nice. And guys, what Ferny shared is absolutely gold, especially the fact that content marketing is very, very important. That's what I've been doing online since I started, because obviously people need to get to know you, and the best way to show that you can help them, again, as Ferny said, is by actually helping them. So content is key. So you create your brand, people follow you, you build a know, like, and trust factor, and eventually they will, some of them, of course, they will start doing business with you. And now you touched on a point. Now we're ready to go into the main topic of this video, what I promised in the video, put in the title, which is the most powerful prospecting strategy that there is right now in network marketing. You touched on this. You mentioned short form content, and this is what's working incredibly well right now. So guys, what I'm gonna do again, I said it at the beginning, but maybe you're watching, you skip the video. I'm gonna put a link in the description to go even deeper into what Ferny is gonna touch on right now. But yeah, if you can just say, Ferny, what this strategy is about and how people can actually apply it.
Yeah. So, I mean, really the most powerful strategy that's ever hit network marketing is happening right now. And it's with short form video. It started with TikTok. And now it's moved into reels on Facebook and Instagram and shorts on YouTube. And what this, content marketing, it's a form of content marketing. Content marketing has existed again for as long as the internet has existed, creating content to educate people so that they get drawn to you and want to learn more from you and eventually become a customer of yours. But this is different because for the first time in the history of social media, your content, no matter how little or few followers you have, can potentially be exposed to hundreds, thousands, or even millions of people if it's content that really resonates with your target market. And so, that's what happened with TikTok is when they came on the scene, and the reason they're eating Facebook's lunch right now. And they're not bigger than Facebook, but they've grown. They're the social platform that has grown the fastest since Facebook. So no other social platform has matched the growth, or you can't even close to the growth of Facebook, except for TikTok recently. And the reason is because all these young kids and millennials and Gen Zers who we make fun of, and rightfully so, they actually figured out that TikTok's algorithm, the way it works is it doesn't just show your videos to your friends who are following you. If your video is interesting, And if they believe it can either entertain or add value to other people, their algorithm will try to show it to as many people as possible that would genuinely like the content. So what happens is when you create a video on TikTok, they actually will share that video to a few hundred people who are not your followers. And they try to figure out what your channel is about. So TikTok is trying to figure out what target market do you serve? What type of group of people do you serve? And so they're trying to figure out based on your content, who you follow, etc. So when you create the videos, that they're going to take their best guess at who might like the video. And so there's a reason you have to do it a few times so that it can learn what type of people, or which type of people will like your content. And they'll share it with a few hundred people. And then if those people like it, they'll share it to a few more hundred people. And if those people like it, they'll show it to 1,000 people. And if those people like it, they'll show it to thousands of people. And if those people like it, they'll show it to millions of people. And it's literally the algorithm on TikTok and eventually a person on TikTok that decides whether your content goes viral. There's literally, when something goes viral to the tune of millions of people, literally somebody at TikTok that reviews content hits a button and decides your content is going to be shared with millions of people, poof, and all of a sudden it shows up in all these feeds. So the something going viral is no longer dependent on it being shared by other people. The algorithm, just TikTok itself, determines whether something goes viral or not based on the sampling. It's based on how, when they show the video to somebody, if they resonate, if they like it, if they watch it multiple times, if they comment on it, if they save it, all of that plays into whether they decide to show it to more people. And so that's how TikTok blew up, is because all these millennials or Gen Zers all of a sudden were attracting these massive audiences because they no longer had to depend on their friends to share their content to other people. Now it's like they had more control over how far their content would be shown and how big their audience would be. So that's what made it really attractive. And so Facebook, not wanting to be left back, decided to create Reels, which is basically the answer to TikTok. It's the same thing, but now Reels is within the Instagram platform. It's within the Facebook platform. YouTube created Shorts. I think Pinterest even has a short form video thing now. And it works exactly the same way. And think about how powerful that is. It's a content marketing strategy where it doesn't matter how new you are or how many followers you have. When your content, before, through the social graph, that's what Facebook innovated, the social graph. Well, it would need to go viral by being shared by your friends, and then their friends share it with their friends, and their friends share it with their friends. That's what viral meant. Now it's the platform, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, deciding whether your content goes viral or not. And it's not really viral. It's not, that's a misnomer. They're just really showing it to more people because they're finding that the people are really liking the content. And so they just keep increasing the number of people they show your content to. And that creates the opportunity potentially for every single video that you publish. You might get an average of 1,000 viewers per video, even though your audience is really small. And if you're really effective at doing this, then you're going to inevitably have a number of your videos go viral. And if your video is speaking to your target market and their problems and their needs, well, what's happened with many of our students is their inbox has gotten flooded with a bunch of messages of people like asking for more information about their product. And I guess that's a good problem to have. You go from having no prospects to having too many prospects and reaching out to you. And so, fortunately, we teach people how to create automation and systems so that they don't get so overwhelmed that, they don't have to answer every message in order to kind of transition that person to becoming a customer and eventually a business builder. Then you create systems to be able to handle that stuff. And you got to be prepared, because no matter how new you are, the potential for some of your content to go viral is very high. But even if your content doesn't go viral, just your content being shared to a few thousand people, or even tens of thousands of people over time, kind of just builds and builds and builds. And so that's the advantage of this type of content marketing strategy, is that you invest your time in creating content, and then it can basically be shown to your perfect prospect, and that prospect can be blowing up your inbox. And so after that, that's a much better problem to solve. It's like, I have too many prospects to talk to, I don't know what to do. Well, good thing we have systems to be able to kind of automate more of that process so that people can buy on their own while still giving you the opportunity to build influence. But that really is, I think, probably the most powerful prospecting strategy that has hit network marketing in the recent years and in its history. It's because it's literally allowed organizations and teams to explode, especially when it comes to product volume, which is important. The reason any business should exist is to create product customers. So those network marketers who are saying, I just want to get business builders, that's all I want, like, I don't care about the product, I just want to grow a big team. Well, you're talking about creating an illegal business. that's a pyramid scheme. And so what I love about TikTok and Reels, on Facebook or on Instagram or Shorts, I guess now on Pinterest, they have something. I think Twitter is working on something pretty soon that's very similar, is that it really the most effective way to get a result from that strategy will come in the form of customers. So you're training, the beautiful thing is now you can train your team on how to create this short form content in a very easy way that then attracts customers to them, and that locks them into the business, because once you show them how to generate customers, meaning generate money, they're not going to want to go anywhere.
Yeah, and I think people would love to have the problem of having too many prospects to deal with instead of no one. Now, what I really love about this strategy is that really everyone can do this. It's not complicated. It's not that you have to create a 20, 30 minutes video or even going live on Facebook to entertain people. This type of video, short form content, is very, very easy to create. Everyone really can do it. So again, guys, if you want to know more about this, I highly recommend you go ahead and then check out the link in the description, because you're going to see exactly even more how this works in details.
Yeah, you don't even need, in these videos, you don't even need to talk. One of my students, when I shared with him kind of how this works, he built an account on TikTok, and within 30 days, he and his wife built a following of 120,000 followers. And it was initially from one video that went viral. And in that video, he didn't say anything. He was just nodding his head, and there were captions on the screen coming up, speaking to what his target market cares about. His target market was actually men who are dealing with mental health issues. And so that's his target market. And so he just kind of, it was the video was playing it was a short video playing some music. He just kind of nodding his head, and then these captions are reading on the screen, talking about men's issues with admitting that they have mental health issues. And so that went viral, and all of a sudden his audience blew up. And so because he has a product that can help people as it relates to their mental health from a natural standpoint, he got tons of customers. And so that was the key strategy that helped he and his wife become six-figure earners in network marketing.
Love it. And you can see, guys, even more of these stories inside the training. So if you're curious to see again how this works, go ahead and click the link, and you can check again exactly everything in detail. Then I just want to ask a last question to you, Ferny. It's been absolutely insanely valuable as always. Obviously, people, as I told you guys, everyone can do this. So it's also easy to kind of duplicate this strategy. But this is something that every network marketer wants. They want to achieve duplication so they can achieve more financial freedom, time freedom, and that's the goal when someone goes into network marketing. So how can people use this strategy into their team to even maximize and achieve even more duplication?
Yeah. So one of the most valuable systems you can create when it comes to being a leader that wanting your team grow quickly, there's actually two systems. One of those systems is designed to attract leaders. The other system is designed to create duplication. So I'm going to talk about first the marketing system, which is designed to attract leaders. Actually, no, I'll talk about the other one. Let me talk about the other one. Um, One of the systems for creating massive duplication in your team is something we call digital duplication systems. And those are team training systems. And that means you have to be really good at breaking down the journey of a brand new person on your team all the way to becoming a six-figure earner. What are the steps and skills they need to learn in between in order to achieve that six-figure income? What are the like milestones along the way that they need to achieve? And what are the skills they need to learn at each of those stages? And so your digital duplication systems or training systems, if you want to use a term that's like a little more boring, need to basically deliver training and offer training to people at every step of the journey. And you need to understand that a person that's brand new in the business needs different training from a person that's 90 days in the business. And a person that's 90 days in the business needs different training from somebody who has already have a team of 100 people. Their training needs to be different. And so when you create that journey, that evolution of this digital networker, well, then you can create digital systems, training systems that deliver training to people as they need it, when they need it. That frees up your time so that as your business grows, your time freedom grows. A lot of six-figure earners and seven-figure earners network marketing, as their business grows, their time freedom goes down because they don't have the systems, and their inbox is flooded with messages from people in their downline every single day, because their downline don't have effective training systems. So they're going to be like asking questions of their upline and blowing up their inbox and their email and their text messaging. And that creates a nightmare business. And so that's not what you want. So you want to be really effective at creating these systems. And inside those training systems, you want to teach one of the first strategies you teach, aside from a social media launch strategy that you start with, that's intended for your warm market, their warm market. So you still want to have a warm market strategy, but you want to use social media, and you want to do it in a way that attracts people from your warm market to you that would benefit from your product. And once they do that, then the next stage is to actually teach them this short form video strategy with TikTok or Reels or whatever they want to use, and teach them how to create that content to attract a new audience to them, because their warm market's going to last only for so long. And so then that's where you want to, inside these digital duplication systems, you want to have training specifically on how to create this type of content for those platforms. And those leaders who do that will not only see their teams explode, it also makes your team attractive to other leaders who may be looking for a new company or a new home. And that brings me to the other system I was talking about. If you have a marketing system that helps you grow an audience and build a brand, that where it's the purpose of that is to attract people to you, attract people that are leaders in the profession. Well, when you do that, when you deploy that strategy, the intention of that strategy is to elevate your presence and elevate your brand in the network marketing space. And when you're doing that, well, inevitably other leaders will see what you're doing. They see, wow, this person's using some pretty innovative ways of kind of putting themselves out there and getting more visibility. I'm going to follow this person. And then if something were to happen to that leader, hopefully nothing happens, but if something happens where that leader needs a new home, needs to join a new company for whatever reason, then they're going to think of you because you have these kick-ass marketing systems. And two, you have these digital duplication systems that create all this duplication and support for your team. And that makes it really attractive for a leader looking for a new home. The most important thing if you want somebody that has experience in network marketing, that's a leader, to join your team, the most important thing is not the company. The most important thing are the systems you have in place to make that leader's job as easy as possible for them to rebuild the business that they're going to lose or have lost, depending on what happened to them. And so that's what's going to be more valuable. It doesn't matter if your comp plan is the best comp plan, if you have the best company. What matters is that you have the training systems in place that's going to allow duplication to grow rapidly. And then that leader is also going to be intrigued by how is it you have this massive social media presence. Well, that's using something called, a marketing system. And when you have marketing systems that help to grow your brand rapidly, your exposure grows. Well, that leader is going to want to know how you did that too. And that's what makes you valuable. And literally our students, so many of our students have recruited 6 and 7 figure leaders in network marketing who needed a home. They didn't poach them. They didn't prospect them. They didn't offer them to like give them some sort of bridge plan. They didn't pay them to come join their business and leave that company. Those people chose to leave whatever company they were in, and they were looking for a new company, and they landed with our students. And the reason they landed with our students is because they just have these amazing kick-ass systems that these leaders are going to see. This gives me an advantage. If I'm going to rebuild, I'm going to rebuild with somebody that already knows how to build systems for social media, how to build systems for branding and marketing, how to build systems for teams to train them on duplicatable strategies, how to a leader that already teaches their team online strategies that are more duplicatable than traditional prospecting. That's what a leader is looking for. And so that's how do you achieve massive duplication in network marketing using this strategy is kick-ass systems that teach people this strategy and kick-ass systems for attracting other leaders who want to join your movement.
Absolutely love it. I think, guys, you're ready to achieve this duplication now, because it's time for you to use this strategy, and then again reap all the benefits of this strategy. You will see it's one of the again, for me, one of the best strategies I've seen, because it's so easy to deploy and it's super duplicatable as well. So for me, it's a no-brainer. What I'm gonna do again, guys, I recommend you click the link in the description. It's been insanely valuable interview as always, Ferny. This is number 3. I'm sure in the future there will be number 4, 5, or even more on the channel. Really happy to have you here. And thank you so much again, Ferny. Don't want to take more of your time. Of course, guys, I would appreciate if you have any questions, comments, let us know in the comments below. We'll make sure we reply as soon as possible. And looking forward to seeing you in the training. Thank you, Ferny, again. Have a great day.
Thanks, Vincenzo. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.